Hello, GBA Channel watchers and people around the world. I am Gubstacular, along with a good buddy, owner of the Chicago Grambles, and he can go ahead and introduce himself now.
Oh man, that's quite the introduction to live up to the last place Grambles.
Well, somebody's gotta be in last place. But the future is bright, Kyle. You do have the second overall pick in the upcoming GBA draft.
That is true. That is true.
So.
But I don't have the first pick of the GBA draft.
Yeah, some team that made the playoffs got that. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
kind of shady, but not shady Penguin, but shady as in
There were some antics involved.
some back alley deals going on. I don't know. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the GBA D-League, and this is the very first featured game of the week. We will be doing this every single week for the D-League. I think I will be involved with most of them, and if not, you will see other faces. But for now, it's me and Kyle this week, and we have a very good matchup, a division game in the Kanto division, I think is what we're calling it. I really don't know. We haven't really picked names yet. But it is a divisional game between Miguel, a.k.a. Real Marill, and Roger Rabbit, a.k.a. The Denver Bronzongs. So
Yes.
we got the team preview up, so we might as well talk about the matchup at hand. What do you think about it, just by looking at it at first glance?
I like the synergy that Miguel has brought already, just at first glance.
Yeah.
And then I see a lot of potential heavy hitters on Tommy's side as well.
Yeah.
With Gyarados and Aerodactyl. And of course, Hariyama.
Yeah, it really is kind of, you see Roger's team, and it looks like it's much more offensively based, maybe even hyper offense.
Mm-hmm.
It really doesn't look like it's going to be dependent on taking too many hits. And then you look at Miguel's team, it looks much more balanced. You see a couple potential walls there with Hippowdon and Alamomola, and then the rest filling a much more offensive role. So a bit more of a traditional team on Miguel's side, and something a bit more unconventional from the Denver Bronzongs on Roger's side.
Indeed.
So what do you think the potential lead matchup could be in this game?
Well, I feel like it depends on whether Tommy thinks, or Raj thinks that Miguel will set up sand right away with Hippowdon. I could potentially see a Gyarados-Hippowdon matchup, or possibly even Celebi Hippowdon.
Yeah, I think that's definitely probably a very obvious choice to see, like the Hippowdon lead, because it has rocks and it can get sand up, so it can start getting chip damage off right away. Maybe we'll see Miguel go with a more initiative-based switch with Greninja or Zapdos if they're offensively based. Both of those have U-turn and Volt Switch respectively.
Sure.
So they can get some initiative to start, but maybe we'll see Aerodactyl from Roger's side as well, because it can set up Stealth Rock, or maybe Celebi sets it up. He does have that flexibility there, where he has a couple Pokemon on his team that can set up hazards. So a bit of a concern for Roger, though, is he does have four things weak to Stealth Rock, just looking at his team, and only one potential defogger. And Aerodactyl isn't exactly the greatest at defogging because it is so frail. So, I think if Miguel can get rocks up early and keep them on the field, I think that's definitely going to be a boon to his game plan and probably lead to a victory. I would say that would be a lot for Roger to overcome.
Yeah,
at that point.
I would also agree.
Yeah. So I guess we might as well just go ahead and get the game started right about now.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a couple seconds of delay here with the team preview loading up, and now we're getting into the game at hand. So I am definitely intrigued to see what both of them decide to lead with. I would say Miguel probably should go for rocks early, just based off that matchup. But we do see Celebi, and we see Tweety the Zapdos.
Wow.
So I guess this is a more offensively based Zapdos. You really don't see defensive Zapdos leads too often.
It's true. He also could have been predicting the Celebi lead due to the fact that he has Hippowdon.
Yeah, that's true. That would be a very good matchup for Roger if he did go with Hippowdon. So, but we see Volt Switch not do that much, so I'm guessing that's an Assault Vest Hariyama. Just based off the damage, because we see no leftovers.
then Victini comes in.
All right, so Victini comes in, likely meaning it's a more bulky set. I wouldn't imagine somebody would switch a offensive Victini into a Mawile, considering Sucker Punch is so powerful.
Yeah, it would definitely take it out.
Yeah, and seeing that damage, that's definitely got to be a bulky Victini. Probably packing Will-O-Wisp to dodge Sucker Punch, or maybe some setup attack that I don't know Victini gets.
Yeah. Interesting going. Oh, a substitute Victini.
I guess Miguel went to Hippo because he just assumed because it's defensive Victini, it can't really touch Hippowdon with too many attacks, and because Hippowdon is so bulky, I think that's a decent assumption to make. But we see the Willow.
Yeah,
so,
there it is.
Sub Willow, I think this Victini is definitely geared to beat the Mawile that Miguel's got. So.
And then there's those rocks that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, so now Roger, I think, is in a bit of a predicament because he really doesn't have too many opportunities against Miguel to get rid of Stealth Rocks. So.
True. And
go ahead.
Sand is not up.
Yeah, Sand isn't up. So.
Interesting.
Wait, no, it's not up.
It's not up.
So that would be a
Sand Force?
Yeah, Sand Force. I guess maybe Miguel just didn't want the sand on his side.
Okay.
That's what I would assume, because I don't think sand would be too big of a detriment to Miguel, but I guess maybe he's not packing leftovers on a few things. I don't know. It's an interesting decision not to go with sand. But I guess if you're not running a sand team, it makes sense to just go with the inert ability as opposed to going with sand.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe he has Sandstorm on the set to activate Sand Force. I mean, I doubt that. That would be a pretty crazy GBA set, but
yeah,
it's possible. Insane. But we do see the Alamomola come in on Gyarados, which you don't normally see. You usually see the opposite.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing Miguel's packing something to phase this thing out with, or to break subs.
Yeah, he would. It's probably. I'm assuming this is.
It's got to be HP Electric. Yeah. So.
That is interesting.
It's off a base 45 special attack stat, so it is pretty impressive that it knocked out the sub.
Yeah, I am pretty impressed.
Yeah, considering Gyarados, I think it's like base 100 special defense. I think it's pretty bulky on that side.
Yeah.
So, he goes for bounce, so likely just trying to get some damage off before he switches out. I can't imagine after seeing HP Electric he would stay in.
Yeah, it's probably.
But yeah, it does have the Rocky Helmet, so that's gonna help deal with. And Rocky Helmet plus Toxic is really gonna wear this Gyarados down quick. So I would imagine,
especially since it has to burn a turn with bounce as well.
Yeah, it's really not gonna benefit Gyarados to stay in at this point. I think Roger probably should just cut his losses here, but he decides to stay in and go for Waterfall.
I mean, it did a chunk, I guess. But
Roger, well, he got the flinch, so.
He's going for the Paraflinch to take out this Alamomola right now.
Yeah, the problem with this is that Alamomola has Regenerator and potential recovery with Wish, so I really don't think. Okay, now Roger decides to switch, I guess.
Yeah.
I just don't agree with him taking that extra Rocky Helmet recoil and toxic damage. I would have probably made the switch earlier, but.
Oh, there's the Wish.
Worked out, I guess. Yeah, now we see Wish. So, I don't think he's going to stay in to take this Energy Ball.
Yeah, he saw it earlier, so he knows that he has it.
Knowing Miguel, he really does not like to run Protect on things. So, he probably does not have Protect on that Alamomola. And he is just going to go to Hippo and hope to take the Energy Ball, but not going to be the case. So Victini racking up an early kill, and for defensive Victini, that's pretty impressive, getting on the board this early.
Yeah. I'm interested to why he went into Hippo instead of something that could take an Energy Ball better, because he would get the Wish back.
Yeah, I would say probably Zapdos would be a good play, so because he could get the resistance and then Volt Switch out for some initiative. But
that's true.
I guess he was worried about sub. I don't know, and just wanted to.
He did show sub on that Victini earlier, so it's it could be it.
I think Miguel probably just had to decide whether or not Hippowdon was worth keeping. He did have rocks up already, so and it looks like Roger's team really can't deal with getting rid of rocks that easily.
Yeah, because we haven't seen Aerodactyl yet, but I don't think it's going to have defog on it at this point.
And if that Zapdos is scarfed with a timid nature, I think it will outspeed a Adamant Mega Aerodactyl. I'm not quite sure if it outspeeds the Jolly one. I think it does. So the opportunities for him to defog with that Aerodactyl are going to be really limited, and I think we're just going to see him sack off Gyarados here at this point.
Yeah, probably just to get the attack drop on it.
Yeah, and he obviously didn't want Celebi to take that knockoff because Celebi's coverage moves really don't pack enough power to take out Mawile unless you're spexed.
Yeah, because it does, I believe it gets Earth Power.
Yeah, it gets Earth Power or HP Fire, but Earth Power is much more powerful against Mega Mawile. So we do just see him switch out on the Victini again. I guess he really is just he's really worried about taking Will-O-Wisp with that with that Mawile, which is definitely a legitimate concern because Mawile is looking like his win condition at this point. Really does just tear through Roger's team.
It does. Once Victini is out of the picture, there's really not that much that it can be done.
Yeah, and Victini now, Roger has to get a defog off because Victini is going to be nearly gone if he does not get rid of Stealth Rock. So it'll be interesting to see if that Aerodactyl is in fact packing defog. I would imagine it is just based off of his team.
Yeah, I mean, it would actually be really helpful for him to have that on it at this point.
And we don't see Fake Out Flinch, so that means
he's Sheer Force?
Yeah, that would have to be a Sheer Force Hariyama because I guess Sheer Force cancels out the flinch.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it only I guess it treats the flinch as a secondary effect, but since it's 100%, I wouldn't really consider that secondary. I don't know. That's an interesting mechanic. Maybe that's a glitch. I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's it makes it kind of better.
Yeah.
Like a priority move.
Yeah, it's a bit more powerful for sure. But we do see Miguel decide to save the Zapdos. I guess that's smart just in case the Aerodactyl is outsped by Zapdos, then he can get a nice easy kill on that thing later on in the game if he can get that to come to fruition. So we do see the Celebi come in on Alomomola, so I would imagine a Giga Drain would probably do enough to a KO.
Yeah, it probably would.
Yeah, so he's okay. Miguel's just gonna go into Mega Mawile. Very nice play, just predicting that and get the wish and get back to full. So that Giga Drain did do quite a decent amount.
He's at this point, I don't know what he's going to do because Victini will be dead to anything on switching. Yeah, he can't switch to Victini here if he wants to save it. So he does go into Aerodactyl. If Miguel had decided to go for Play Rough here, I think Aerodactyl's going to die, and he goes for Knockoff. So because that's Mega, it does survive. And I'm guessing Miguel does not carry Sucker Punch, or he was worried about a setup move. Maybe possibly Defog, like we've been talking about. But we'll see what he goes for. And Miguel did go to Zapdos, I guess predicting Earthquake. So. Oh, he goes.
And he goes for Stone Edge and misses. Oh wow.
That's upsetting.
Yeah, that's. I mean. Okay, he's faster.
He is Jolly.
So yeah, he's either Jolly or that's not a Scarfed Zapdos.
Yeah.
So. Most Aerodactyls run Adamant, but this is the GBA, so you can be a bit more specific with your sets and decide to go with the Jolly Aerodactyl instead of Adamant. But we do see Miguel with the Scarf Greninja, and he gets the U-turn off. So Aerodactyl goes down, and that means Defog is now out of the picture for Roger.
And that pretty much is just like I guess he just doesn't go. He could. I feel it. I guess. Bisharp can clean up at this point.
Yeah, Bisharp really deals a number to the rest of Roger's team, especially if Weavile isn't packing low kick or low sweep. I think it's the standard now, but we see Healing Wish from Celebi, so
interesting.
Okay, so that at least that buys him some time with Victini, I guess.
Yeah.
But the Healing Wish will go off before Stealth Rock, so unfortunately for Roger, he still will take 25% damage.
And he goes for sub, probably dodging potential Sucker Punch.
If Miguel makes a very nice play and just goes for Knockoff. He really does not need Bisharp to win at this point because all Roger has left is Victini and Weavile.
Yeah,
so
wow.
I really think that Miguel's probably just going to continue to knock off, and he does. So I think at this point, Greninja would probably clean up with Hydro Pump if it's got it. I would imagine that would be powerful enough to take out both.
Yeah.
So unless it's Timid Scarf, I don't know if Weavile could take a Timid Scarf Hydro Pump at 75%. That would be interesting to see. But we'll see it now when he has Surf. So
that still might take out Weavile after Rocks.
Yeah, Weavile's got poor HP. Its special defense stat actually isn't as bad as you would think. It's I think it's respectable, but its HP is really low. Oh, it's already taken 25% from Rocks.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah, it's at 50% now. There's no doubt that this Surf will take it out for sure. And we'll see the Real Marill, aka Miguel, pick up the very first win of their tenure in the GBA, and very nice, solid win, 3-0 victory. So
it was.
Very important game for that division, though. That's the only game in that division to take place as of yet. So Miguel is definitely getting a jump on the competition by getting that win very early.
It's always good for the confidence to get that first win early on in the year.
Yeah, I can speak from experience. When you lose early in the season, it feels like it's just an uphill battle the rest of the season. And if you win early on, it allows you to have a bit more wiggle room later on in the season, as opposed to having to fight for your life pretty much every single week.
That's true.
Yeah. So, what do you think? Do you think Miguel will continue this trend? Do you think he'll continue winning, or do you think he'll get some hiccups here and there?
Well, I mean, there's bound to be hiccups in every season.
Yeah.
For every team. But from how I watched him play today, I think if he continues this, he will have a decent amount of success in this league. I like the team that he brought.
Yeah.
He definitely planned ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what we like to see here.
Yeah. And conversely for Roger, it is a bit unfortunate that he has to pick up a loss this early in the season, but luckily for him, it wasn't a huge loss. He only lost by 3-0, so that he can make that up easily in 1 week and get back on the positive end of things. So,
yeah.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see where these two end up at the end of the season. They do have to play each other again. I think it's week 7 or week 8. So that could end up being one of the biggest games of the season for both of these players, and a bit of a revenge game for Roger. So.
Indeed, Roger definitely have some extra incentive to win after losing the first game.
Yeah, a bit of added motivation for him, and maybe Miguel will have added motivation to get the season sweep. You never know with these things; they're kind of quirky. So,
sure.
That pretty much wraps it up, though. I want to thank all of you for watching. I want to thank Kyle for joining me.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And we have a lot of stuff coming up later on this week. We have a season recap, or not season, weekly recap that will be done by Magnitude for the D-League. And then John, a.k.a. Pokemon, will be doing power rankings as well starting week 2. So not this week, but the next week there will be power rankings. So be on the lookout for those things. Be on the lookout for next week's feature game. Will likely be the, I think it will be FC Volcarona versus San Francisco Arcaniners. So that is looking to be a very good game. And we will see you then. Take it easy.